And we begin with continued unrest across America tonight as millions call for an end to racial injustice. For nearly a week, protesters have taken to the streets across the country after the death of George Floyd. In Virginia, Governor Ralph Northam has declared a state of emergency. It allows the Commonwealth to mobilize resources to protect public safety and de-escalate any violence. For the last 2 days, protests in Richmond started out peaceful but turned violent later at night. In Hampton Roads, protests across 4 cities in the last 2 days remained peaceful. Demonstrators gathered again tonight in Norfolk, calling for change. 10 on your side's Brett Hall is there now. And Brett, what are you seeing and hearing?
Well, again, the protest even started off with the organizers saying anybody that's looking to be foolish should leave right now. They just came from the U.S. federal courthouse down Brambleton. The police are now picking up the end. You'll see them pass our camera in just a second, but they're gathering at Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza, right where Brambleton meets Church Street. That's where they started earlier today. Had a series of speeches, and while Black Lives Matter 757 has organized several protests this weekend, this one was also run in conjunction with Stop the Violence. Longtime viewers of Wavy TV 10 know Bilal Muhammad. You see him often after there is a homicide in the city of Norfolk, calling for change. He led his voice to this, and they were talking about changes not just in police relations, but change at the ballot box when it comes to people of color. There was some upsetness here today that there were no elected leaders out here marching with the protesters. Yesterday, Police Chief Larry Boone did walk with protesters in a similar Norfolk protest, but they have now returned here. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, if the protest is going to conclude. Lots of signs, and it appears lots of people from all walks of life, young, old. I saw some of their older Americans walking with walkers. But for the most part, it was just a walk up and down the street, some speeches, nothing more than that. Now, I know there was a lot of talk that there was going to be, there was some fear that things could get out of hand. None of that happened here. It hasn't happened in the last several days. And of course, everybody says that's how we're going to start the change. We're live right now in Norfolk. Brett Hall, 10 on your side.
And Brett, thank you. Crews were out cleaning the Confederate monument in Norfolk this morning. As we reported, protesters spray painted the statue last night. Some left signs along the base of the monument that say Black Lives Matter and justice for George Floyd.